I am out here in the mountains of beautiful Colorado. You can see the leaves are turning. It's a fall day, a little bit overcast, but it's not that bad, man. It's not that cold. We had a little bit of rain earlier. I actually geared up and everything. Think I was going to get rained on. I may have to take off some of this gear because it's not that bad. But I am out here in Copper Mountain, Colorado, and I wanted to come over here to show one of the ski lifts. You can see one of the ski lifts is running up over here, but really what I wanted to show you is, in fact, this ski lift is, bam, my ski lift. You know what I'm saying? I mean, so this is like the SoopaBee ski lift coming right at you here in beautiful Copper Mountain, Colorado, the SoopaBee ski lift. I've never been on it, but that's my ski lift, boy. And once all kinds of snow comes in, you're gonna see all kinds of people skiing down here. And I'm actually out here in the fall, so obviously nobody. But anyway, that's not the topic. That's not what I wanted to talk about today. What I wanted to talk about today is Harley-Davidson. Harley-Davidson, man. And you see, I don't ride a Harley-Davidson. I ride a Honda. And I talk a lot of friendly stuff to Harley riders. I'm not going to lie. And it's all in good fun, you know. It's no disrespect. In fact, what this video is about, what I wanted to talk about today, is actually respect. Respect for Harley riders, you know, because there's a lot of people, I think, who talk a lot of stuff about Harley riders. There's a lot of people out there who put down Harley riders, you know, and really just, I mean, Harley bashing, I guess you could call it, you know, Harley bashing. And to me, that's different. To me, Harley bashing is different than just your gentle ribbing that motorcyclists do with one another, you know, because motorcyclists, they tend to, you know, they tend to ride for their particular brand of motorcycle, and, you know, they give everyone else a little bit of a hard time, including me. I do the same thing, you know, and it's all done with love, you know. There's no disrespect, real disrespect intended. It's all done with love. But I do see some riders out there who are genuinely disrespecting other riders, and in particular, I'm talking about the disrespect that I see towards Harley riders. There's a lot of Harley haters out there, and I don't get it. I don't understand it. You know, I mean, just because I don't ride a Harley, geez, man, I mean, I still got love and respect for my Harley brothers and sisters out there, you know? I mean, mad respect. I'd ride a Harley in a minute. I really would, you know? And in fact, I think you just need to give it up. I think we need to give it up to Harley-Davidson.
Harley-Davidson, the juggernaut in the United States North American markets, they sold 249,000 units across the world in 2012, so huge sales for Harley-Davidson. Recently been making up a lot of ground in Latin America. That's a growing market for them.
Shija is the first woman in India to buy this powerful bike, and she's loving the attention and drop jaws of fellow bikers.
Basically, the woman riding on a Harley, I think that's giving all that look, and the statement that this bike makes on the road, I think it's amazing. You know, I'm loving every bit of it.
Does she go fast or does she drive very carefully?
Carefully.
Well, it's been a long time since I've ridden a two-wheeler, and of course it was never a Harley-Davidson. And I don't have a license. Otherwise, of course, I'd be riding off into the sunset. But for now, I'll leave it to Shija, the first woman in India to buy a Harley-Davidson.
I mean, you got to give it up to riders who are looking at Harley and like, man, I want to get a Harley. You know, I mean, I don't think there's anything, there's nothing wrong with that. In fact, I mean, that's admirable, you know. Here's the other thing. Harley-Davidson, granted, they've had their ups and downs as a company, right? They've certainly had their ups and downs as a company. I think particularly in the 70s and 80s, maybe 90s, you know, they had their ups and downs. But Harley stayed in existence, you know? Harley has never gone bankrupt. I think that they've maybe I don't know all the details, but I think Harley maybe sold their name, maybe. I don't know. I mean, I think there were other manufacturers who kind of came in to help them out. But I do know that Harley has never gone bankrupt. They've stayed in business all of these years. They've never gone bankrupt and gone out of business. That's what I should say. But Harley has been around since 1903, when they were founded in Milwaukee, Wisconsin, and they are the longest running motorcycle manufacturer in the world.
So is Harley-Davidson really the world's longest operating motorcycle manufacturer? Well, barring numerous strikes over the years, including when they were sold to AMF in 1969, HD has been making motorcycles continuously since 1903. Triumph did start a year before Harley in 1902, but stopped making bikes in the late 1970s and didn't restart until the 90s. And while Indian motorcycles launched in 1901, they went bankrupt in 1953. But what about Royal Enfield? Their first motorcycle was produced in 1901 and they are still around today. Now this might be a bit picky, but Royal Enfield did stop producing motorcycles briefly in their early years to focus on cars. Sure, it was only a short hiatus, but a hiatus it was nonetheless. But check this out. Nobody talks about the French company Peugeot, who built their first motorcycle in 1898 and started selling motorcycles in 1901. Granted that they are primarily focused on scooters, but Peugeot is still selling bikes to this day. So while I do think that there is a case to be made that Harley-Davidson is the longest operating motorcycle company in the world, it is probably safer and more respectful to say that Harley-Davidson is among the longest operating motorcycle manufacturers in the world.
You gotta give credit to that, man. There's a lot of folks that I know who are all over Indian motorcycles, and I love Indian motorcycles. I'm super impressed with them. You know, I love them too, man. I would own an Indian in a minute. But some of the things that I hear from Indian motorcycle riders, it's just crazy. Like, they say things like, well, yeah, Harley's been around for a long time, but Harley wasn't the first. You know, Harley wasn't the first. Indian was, in fact, America's first motorcycle company. Well, that's true. That's true. Indian launched, I believe, in 1901. Harley came along a couple years later, 1903. But we have to remember, Indian went bankrupt and out of business in 1953, man. I mean, they lost. They basically lost the battle between Harley and Indian. They did. You know, there's no arguing that. And granted, I give props to Polaris. Polaris is the company that bought the rights. They're the ones who make Victory motorcycles. Polaris bought the rights to the Indian Motorcycle Company, and they are now manufacturing motorcycles badged as Indian motorcycles, and they're super impressive, man. I love them, love. So I'm not saying anything bad about Indian, Polaris, or anything. I'm just saying that for Harley has been around consistently, and granted they've had their ups and downs, but they've been around consistently. Here's the thing. Now, I think when you hear people talking stuff about Harley, they're more often than not talking stuff about Harley riders. And I get that. I can see that, because there's some Harley riders out there, just like all kinds of other riders too, but there are definitely some Harley riders out there who are just they're dicks. You know, there's no other way to say it, man. But they're dicks, man. And again, you have dicks on every sort of motorcycle out there. So it's not just Harley riders, but you certainly see some dick Harley riders, you know. But yeah, man, I think that, you know, when the hate is directed towards a certain type of rider, you know, I don't have any problem with that. I just hate lumping everybody into the same category. Just because you own a Harley, just because you ride a Harley, you're a dick. No, that's not how it works, you know? And then you hear people moving that criticism over to the company, to the Harley Motorcycle Company, and I don't think that's cool, man, because I got mad respect for Harley. Granted, they've had their ups and downs, they've had their quality control issues, but I think most of those are years ago. You know, the new Harleys, much respect, man. There's some good bikes. In fact, I give props to Harley for trying to push the limit. You know, they have bucked their their base and tested out that whole electric motorcycle. Remember a couple years back, they were testing out the Project Livewire, which I actually rode on.
And it wasn't shifting either. I noticed that. It's not like it's got an internal automatic transmission or something like that. It wasn't like that at all. It's just immediate power.
It was a prototype that they were testing out, man. And I give Harley props for pushing the envelope and testing out an electric motorcycle. Electric, you know, for a company that is known for their V-twins, man, they were testing out an electric motorcycle. Much props for them for pushing the limit on that. I got much respect for Harley for doing that. So anyway, man, I just wanted to share some of my thoughts, get this off my chest about my brothers and sisters out there, my Harley riding brothers and sisters. And man, you got love from me. I'm telling you, you got love from SoopaBee, boy. You can come up to my ski lift anytime. You know? So anyway, with that, my friends, my people, continue to ride with confidence, head up, 100%. Yeah, this is SoopaBee.